are live, broadcasting live. This is the Conversation Room 101. Make sure it's only adults in the house. I need your mind to be open, prepared, and relaxed. Welcome to our home. Take your shoes off. We got some rules we need to go over. Be kind. No cursing in the chat. If you want to curse, call in. And no shouting out other channels. That's a no-no. We got one other rule. There is no judging our guests. It will not be permitted. Zero tolerance. And if so, you want to do that, guess what? We got security. And we will escort you out. Because over here, hashtag we don't care. We're going to be one big family. We're going to laugh together sometimes. We're going to cry. But we definitely going to pray. I thank the Lord above for everything. I lift him up and give him the glory. But you guys, right now, we're going to get our popcorn. And then we're going to see what's going on. And let me just park my car. And I'll be in there in a minute. I see you real soon.
The Copyright Disclaimer Act. The Copyright Disclaimer Act under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Like, share, subscribe.
Do you want to know? Well, I've been thinking about you, and I think you'll have to listen, because the sun is up, it's a beautiful day.
We won't stop.
Will
We
be
will
as bright
not
as
stop.
the sun. Come, won't you come along? And it feels so right, it's like luck is raining on me. Go and follow your heart, doesn't matter how far. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me this time.
Look at
Baby,
this.
baby, now
See this?
I know.
Now you cannot go
Baby,
again.
baby, gotta go. There is so much love to give. Something's telling me it's right.
Neighbors and the
When you
community
came to me,
compelled to
who are
scour
you?
the area.
It's you, yeah, boy.
Where does the fault lie on you?
Hey family, how's everybody doing? Oh, it's running a little late here, but I was trying to see if this video was going to download for me. Let me see if it will. I don't know if it will or if it won't. It says you've got a lot of files. Each brand is limited to 100. Please delete some files before uploading. Let me delete this one. Let me delete this one. Now, let's see if it'll upload. I done deleted too, so let's see. Let's see. It may do it, it may not. It's circling around. I deleted 2 files, which we didn't really need those 2 files. But shoot, it's circling around like, but we'll see. How's everybody doing this Friday the 13th? Woo! I didn't even know it until just a minute ago. I was like, oh, today's Friday. Oh, today's the 13th. Oh, Friday the 13th. It only comes every now and then, you guys. It just does. It do what it do. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Like, I was trying to delete some stuff here. I'm deleting stuff as we talk. Yes. I'm deleting stuff as we go. So, some things we just don't need anymore. We just don't need it. So, I deleted and And it's still circling around, so we'll see if it'll pop up. Oh, wow, it popped up. So, hey, how's everybody doing? Thank God it did. Hey, Freddie, what's going on? She says, yes, it is Friday. Friday the 13th. Good afternoon, Lisa Taylor. I see you in the building. Danielle, Berry Sports Highlights. All right. I see you in the building. Thank you guys for showing on up. It is Friday. We're coming on a little bit early, but that's okay. That is okay. You guys, I wanted to watch this with you guys. Let me tell you, I did finish looking at the hearing as much. It was cut and choppy, everywhere that I went to go see it. You have to go to 4 or 5 different places to see it and all that. I didn't want to get a copy strike because, some people had some part of it. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you didn't get to see, his daughter got up there, and I'm going to tell you, it was horrific. It was, I was in tears. I was in tears because she doesn't have a father anymore. That, like, and it's messing with her mental status, that she doesn't, in her relationships, like, she think of men differently and boys differently because of what has happened to her. So, I mean, I don't know if other people getting all excited and happy about. I don't know. It's just it was sad. It was sad. I mean, and I sit back, and my husband come in the house, and here I am in tears because of her impact statement. Now that's an impact statement. That's an impact statement. This is what it caused her: detrimental stability in her life. That's an impact statement. Not money and this, that, and the other. I mean, this girl's got to live with this for the rest of her life and know that her father's a predator, and he preyed on not just other kids, he preyed on her. He did things with her, to her, and she knows it. And regardless if anybody can't really understand, to know that, your father would do something of that nature and got caught, and the grown-ups did not know or turned away. I did not want to record that because, like I said, they didn't show her face, and I'm glad they did not. But you can hear her statement, and it was bad. Like I said, I didn't have to see her face. I didn't have to see her. I could tell it was an older child because she talked, she spoke about her feelings. It has to be that older one that, the guys got into a fight about, dating his daughter and da 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 da. I guess he's like, that was mine. That's mine, like she's at an age where he couldn't do that anymore, but he felt like, I'm the first one that got into that's mine. I don't know his thinking. I just don't. I can't get it. I can't understand it. It's horrible, you guys. It's horrible. But anyway, I want you guys to look at Annetta, or whatever she calls her name, in court, and so that you guys, we could see the performance that happened. Let's look at it. Okay.
To the Honorable Judge Nicholas John Hathaway in the Wayne County Circuit Court. Good morning. Thanks and thank the court for giving me the opportunity to speak as I stand here before you. So just the concerns that me and my family have. It has been 2 years and 2 months since I reported this I am missing. I want you to know that my life will never be the same. My family's life will never be the same without Messiah. And every day that I wake up with her, I wake up feeling depressed. It's another day without her. I love her and I miss her dearly. I can't tell her that because her life was was taken from her. Words cannot express just how much we and my family really miss and love Messiah. This has impacted my life and my family's life. There are days when I can't, when I don't want to get out of bed. I wake up feeling depressed. I don't want to talk to anybody, to anyone, just getting out of bed. To do the basic everyday things that I miss, I'm sorry. I don't want to get out of bed. I wake up feeling depressed. I don't want to talk to anyone. Just getting out of bed to do the basic everyday things that I need to get done. This has affected my health. I am seeing more than one doctor about my health, including seeing the therapist. I don't feel safe in my home. My address and my phone number has been put on social media. People have been driving by, taking pictures of my home. I have been threatened. My family have been threatened. Pictures taken of me and my family following me in my car. Pictures posted. Setting up GoFundMe raises in the Zion's name without my permission. And this has also affected me financially. And my people doing, other people doing podcast shows, emailing me. I don't know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Take your time now.
Anybody else wants to leave? There is a courtroom, 206 down the hallway. You can observe this proceeding. You can't go.
Don't come into my home.
Let's step out. Too late. Let's go. Let's go, man. In the rear and in the back. Let's go.
Please remain quiet.
Quiet in the car. Oh, wait.
Right, an additional reminder, if you're going to have difficulty controlling yourself, now would be a good time to leave.
Sir, can you suggest that we can go on?
you through, ma'am?
No, Judge, I'm going to finish reading the written statement for you.
Oh, very good. You can return to your seat, ma'am. Mr. May.
Okay, so somebody says in the chat that was Shannon hollering, "Shut the F up." I don't know. I didn't get to hear Shannon's impact statement. We seen Marquita. I heard Marquita's impact statement. Carla says, Tina, yes, Frank was there. I heard Frank was there. That's what I kept hearing. I don't know if that's true or not. Oh, okay. Well, I really was looking in the audience as much as I could. I didn't. Shannon did some stuff, so that's why she won't do an impact statement from what I have heard. Shannon was dolled up for Jarvis. So why would Shannon holler out, "Shut up, shut the F up"? Another person there said it was Shannon. You can see Frank sitting close to Jarvis. Oh, really? Hold on. I looked. I seen one gentleman that I knew there that was sitting right behind Jarvis, a dark-skinned brother. I knew him. He's actually from the gay community. That's how I know him. He was there. I didn't see Frank, you guys. I didn't see Frank. I seen a good-looking lad there that had braids. And I know that's not Frank. So I don't know the person was talking to Frank. I don't know. I didn't see Frank. You guys said Frank was there. Shannon was talking to Kenya. Oh, she was telling Kenya to shut up? Oh, well. Wow. I thought somebody was telling the mama to shut up. Well, that's something. Well, you never know what really happens behind the doors unless you're there. Yes, Kenya was asked to leave. Oh, okay. Well, that's probably why Shannon didn't do a statement, because she was already worked up. The funny thing about the whole situation, when Jarvis walked in the courtroom, he had his fist all balled up like, "I'm here to fight." Didn't raise his head up not one time. I literally thought I seen tears come from his eyes when his daughter was doing the impact statement. I thought, I don't know if it was the mask or it was tears that was coming down on top of the mask. I said, maybe there is something in him. I thought his sister did her impact statement asking him to tell where Nazia's remains were at and all of that. Oh, Carla says Shannon, Kenya, and Toot got kicked out. Lady Red says, I said the same thing. Looked like he had tears coming out of his eyes. A good afternoon, by the way. Yeah, I don't know if it was like the only statement that shook him was his daughter's statement when she was saying she's seen him as a hero at one time. Now, she doesn't, and it has hurt her that, she had to, basically keep that secret and tell her mom, the things that has happened to her. And I'm gonna tell you guys something, Jarvis did look over to try and see his sister. If you enlarge the picture, you can see the puffiness and discoloration of his lower eyelids. Now, I know, people sometimes remorseful that they got caught, not remorseful of what they did, but how they got caught. Yes, Janiyah. He did get emotional with Janiyah, and that tells me, I'm gonna say this, you guys, when somebody get get hurt of this, you know magnitude, like it, all different emotions can come. They can shut down, they can become violent, they can become like their predator, they can become low self-esteem, they can feel like it's their fault. But I'm just saying what I seen. I don't know what you guys seen. Put it in the chat. Phyllis said yes, his chest sunk when Janiyah spoke. They shut the cameras off when Jarvis' sister was giving her statement. They said she had said something that they didn't want on record. Vara was there, but Nazaya's mother didn't come to court. I probably couldn't come either. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't. I wouldn't want to hate someone, and sometimes you just can't. You know what I'm saying? So because like I said, you guys, you're gonna feel some guilt. You're gonna feel, if I could have done this, or if I could have answered that phone, if I could have been there, if I would have picked her up that day, or if I would have asked her, is anything going on? You would have felt, if you cared, you would have felt some guilt that there was something you could have done. And when there's no guilt, that's something you could have done, even though that there was nothing you could have really done, to be honest with you, because it was set in motion. The things that happen. We think we can go back and turn the time, and just like the sister said, that's why when people come with impact statements or they say what they say, if they don't, regardless if they were guilty or not, and most of them, they're not gonna be guilty, but they feel like, just like the sister said, why was I there? Was I there to stop this? Was I there to be a voice? Was I there because I'm part of the equation? Like why I didn't see this? Why I didn't know? Why you're gonna say that when you really, like I said, when you really care, you're gonna feel some guilt, even though there's nothing you could have done, or you just didn't see it. You honestly just did not see it. You didn't know what his thinking was like. You didn't know who this child was. You want to believe when somebody say, I'm going to the store, they went to the store. They say that's such and such cousin, then that's such and such cousin. Why are you sitting there giving them the third degree? That let me talk to King. Let me talk to her. Let me da 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 da. You're there to get your car fixed. So of course you're not gonna sit there and give somebody the third degree of who this is. And you know, that'd be like you come over to my house and you suspicious of something. Okay, get out of here. Nobody asked you to come over here. You coming over here? Why you got this setting out? Who's this at your house? None of your business. So there's nothing the sister could have done but take his word for it that was King's niece. I'm just saying. I'm not going to tell you that it's the truth because I don't know. Like I said, I think on a different level of the possibilities, she could have been part of the equation. I mean, you know, I straddled that fence, and I have to, you guys, because we are warriors for children. You guys get what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to believe what people tell me. Let me see what evidence and just tell me what happened. And regardless if I believe you or not, because it may look one way and it may be totally exactly what she is saying. She didn't know. She just went to get her car fixed and blah that. It could be as simple as that. I'm just being honest with you. Because the way that she asked him to tell in front of everybody, she didn't wait, because I'm pretty sure, you know, he called his sister and they talk and, you know, and this, that, and the other. But, you know, like, people's going to her job and telling her job, you know, stuff like, you know, making her life bad because of something her brother did. Could you guys, I mean, come on, y'all. Something her brother did. Like I said, you know, two things. Had she known, which we got no evidence. We got no evidence if she knew or didn't know. We just don't have it. So why would you throw her underneath the bus? When, to be honest, had she not come forward and say, hey, I was there, some of the pieces would not be together. Okay? Carla said, yes, Jarvis' sister is the only one that asked about Naziah. Yes. You know what I'm saying? You have one of the official First Warriors for Children t-shirt, the pink one. Girl, get out of here. Yes, you do, Freddie. I know you do. I think you got every one that we put out. But Jarvis's sister, you know, she said she wasn't going to show up, and she showed up. She was going to go to work, you know, and I get it. Hey, you know, I want to get as far away from this as possible. You know what I mean? And like I said, you know, at first, you know, when we were talking about things and stuff, you know, we really wasn't never really harsh on her. But like I said, you know, we warriors for children. We can care less about other people and what they feeling and doing, but we just want the truth. And if that was her truth when she spoke to me, I felt at ease once I talked to her. I did. I felt at ease. I felt like, okay, she wasn't hiding anything. She didn't have to talk to me. She told me she'd been abused as a child herself. She didn't have to share that with me. Um, when I asked her questions about who raised them and and this, that, and the other, and why was there, you know, a little bit standoffish when they said something about the grandmother and da 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 da. She told me the reason why. She didn't have to. She was going to court. She didn't have to. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure they told her to don't talk to nobody. I don't think people would talk if they were. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole conversation was recorded. I will not play it, you guys. I don't record people to throw them underneath the bus. I don't do that. I just don't. I did a clip it to some of the mods just to let them know that we were talking. We were on the phone and conversating. One mod was on the phone. I chimed her in when we was talking, and so she can hear for herself and know that, like, I always want my mods to know, when you backing up SP, I'm not lying to you. Because anybody could tell you anything. But if I say I'm talking to somebody, I'm talking to them, or they're talking to me, or I'm going to go talk to them. And a lot of times I don't share that conversation because I want to know. Should we drag you down these YouTube streets and da 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 da? Because or should we look somewhere else? Because we're actually looking for any kind of evidence that she's alive, or where her remains are at, or what happened. We ain't trying to drag people down the street because it's fun and that's our mentality, because it's not. I mean, some people get a kick out of it and they will drag you, but that's not our criteria. That's not our hidden agenda. That's what we want to do. I know sometimes, we get on the wrong side and we get to going, and then it's just like a snowball going downhill, and then we have to say, hey, hold on, what are we doing here? We're not trying to just come on and go viral because blah 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 blah. Many a times we can go viral just because of the people that we do get in contact with, that we do get to talk to, whether they know who we are or what. But however we get in there, we get in there. Just like Annetta, whatever her name is, Annetta's son. I had to tell him, I'm this, I'm that person, I'm such and such, and what can he tell me? When was last time? We're not even looking for this, and then start asking him questions. Why you not looking for Naziah and da 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 da? And he told me he was the police. Oh, man, please, come on. You might get arrested by the police, but you ain't police. You ain't even police material. But he is a security guard. A security guard. But anyway, you guys, talking about Jarvis's court hearing, I hope everybody takes something from this, and just remember, this is not our biological child. We're not even kin to the people that's kin to her. So, and this is not entertainment, just to be honest with you. This is not entertainment. This is actually learning material. I want you guys to know that this is for learning. Now, no, we cannot help Naziah, but there are other females. It could be your daughter. It could be your daughter's daughter. It could be the female next door, across the street, somebody at work, somebody at church, somebody come bring you food, somebody's dating your son. That you see these things because they don't all look the same. They ain't got nothing on their forehead to say, hey, I'm a predator. Hey, I've been touched. So most of the time when a woman, and that's why I try to have grace for females, even though you guys sometimes think I don't. I really do. I have grace and mercy for them because when you see a female act out, it's probably not because of what's really going on right now. Like, it's almost like a pregnant female. When a woman is pregnant, her hormones are all over the place. And you can say one thing, you forgot the cheese. Oh, she's crying. Because I forgot the cheese. I'll go back to the store and get the cheese. Well, you bought the wrong cheese and you should have had cheddar cheese and you brought Parmesan cheese and her hormones has kicked in because they're not as strong as they should be. When you lose a lot of your hormones and now all of a sudden you crying about cheese. You remember when you was pregnant and something triggered you? You don't even know why you was crying, but you was crying. Somebody said hi. They said hi the wrong way. They didn't wave at you. They looked at you differently. They didn't bring you a bag of grapes home or some tater chips or something, and you started crying. That's how it is when a woman has been violated. It can happen at any time. Her emotions kicks in, and even in a relationship or marriage or whatever have you, something can trigger that, and next thing you know, she's all over the place. And she's never going to tell you, oh, I was touched when I was little. Oh, my uncle done this. Oh, my daddy done that. My teacher done this to me. My neighbor done that. The babysitter done this. Mama's boyfriend done that. They're not going to tell you. They're going to holler, yell, and scream. Things doesn't even make sense. They fighting over a toothpick or a candle or something. Things like that happen. Yes, thank you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and if you're not part of the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. But yeah. And when you hear somebody's story, don't think that just because they can say a couple of words about what happened or whatever, that's insight to you to break them all the way down and all this other stuff. No. That's something that's embarrassing. You don't know why it happened to you. You don't know, did you cause it? And then you're afraid that your family's not supportive, or they may not even know all the ins and outs. They may don't, you may not can tell the time or what day it was, so it's hard for them to know if what you're saying is true or not true. So they can't just go and be like, oh, well, she said you touched her, so it must be true. You're breaking up a whole family. You're breaking up a whole relationship. And kids know that, when they're kids. So when people sometimes be like, well, she should have said something. She waited until she got 17, 20, 24. Now she gonna say something. Kids know, like, shoot, I don't want to tell mama this. Hopefully it don't happen again. I don't want to tell her this. She think that he's the greatest thing since Swiss cheese. And mama be like, that's my man, that's my man, that's my man. Don't tell me nothing. You know, he's providing for us, and go in there with your daddy, and your daddy said this, and that's your daddy. Why you don't want to go see your daddy? Daddy? And she thinking to herself, I know this is not right, and nobody may not believe me. So I don't say nothing, and I just hope it just stops. So some people were asking the question, like, why she didn't say anything until now. Well, sometimes people believe or think or look at the situation and say, they're not going to believe me. And then when they don't believe you, then what? They're going to say, you're the troublemaker. You're a liar. Oh, better not have that girl around us, because she might say, I touched her. Or my man touched her. You know what I'm saying? So it's sad. It's sad for everybody. Really, it's so sad for the victims. And there's no way to correct it. Because once it's done, it's done. You know what I'm saying? There's no way to correct it, because you violated somebody. You can ask for forgiveness. That helps. You can ask for forgiveness. That helps. It would have been nice to hear him say something like, I hope and pray that everybody forgives me. But he didn't say a word. And I told you guys that. I said on March the 12th, you guys think you're going to hear his statement of what happened and where he put the body, and what was the conversation that morning and all of that? Nope. He did not say one word but his name. That's it. He said Jarvis Butts. That's who he is. And that's all he said. He walked in, put his head down. Well, he had his head down as he was walking in. Had his fist balled up like, I'm a fight. And it's so funny because he had the right hand balled up like, I'm a fight. And I thought to myself, okay. And he just kept his head down like he did every day in court. He kept his head down. Some people say they seen him put his head up. I never did see it. Anyway, you guys, I literally, after hearing his daughter, I was done. I didn't want to look at no more. It's a done deal. You'll hear it for the next week or two, and then people will move on. People will move on. And then people will go through life. But the ones that will have to deal with this for the rest of their life, especially, the sister, Jarvis's sister, is because She literally, I'm gonna just be honest with you. She literally gonna have to find her another job. She's not gonna be happy where she's at. I don't know where her job is. Yes, she does work with kids. I don't know where. Don't want to know where. Zena said, I saw him put his head up. I never did see him put his head up. I never did. But like I said, it was so choppy. I had to go over here to get some information, go over there to get some. Court TV had a little information, you know. Um, you know, I like I said, there were some people that had information that the news did not have, which was great, you know. Like I said, I had to put it all together and I knew what was going on. So, um, what do you guys think about the whole thing? You know, like, what do you guys think? Like, I know you guys thought that you was gonna hear Jarvis, and I told you so you wouldn't, come that day, you sit back and be like if you're waiting to hear him tell you this, and this, we was not gonna hear it. I told you guys that. And I know you thought, SP, we're going to hear. And I said, no, you're not. No, you are not. Phyllis says, praying for all of those involved in this case. God has the last say for all of us. Exactly. Freddie says, sometimes we all have to suffer consequences of other people's actions, guilty by association. Exactly. You know? But, just having the last name Butts is going to follow them for a long time because some people are going to say, hey, are you kin to this guy named Jarvis Butt? And they're going to look at him like, oh my God, I'm going to have to quit this job, or I don't want to answer that, or, get all crazy. Especially his kids that's named after him, Butts. Like his sister. She's really gonna get it. Like if anybody, like she says she glad that her job understands that that's just her brother. And she doesn't condone what he's doing, she doesn't think that, he was right in everything. Oh, this is Phyllis. Hold on, you guys. Hey, this is SP.
Hello, SP. This is Miss Phyllis. How are you, love?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I just want to say publicly, SP, that, and I'm sure everybody agrees with me, just thank you again for covering Nigeria's faith. It's not been hard. It won't be forgotten. Yeah, people will move on, but I think this one particular case will live with us for a long, long time. And even though I wasn't satisfied with everything yesterday in the court, like you said, would have been wonderful to hear Jarvis say something. Then again, I don't know, because I don't know how I would have felt. But I still pray. I pray so for the sister. And if she's watching your program, I love you, Tawana. I thank you for coming forward yesterday. And I still pray, that Jarvis' heart will be touched and he'll acknowledge to himself, to God, and repent. Because there's always room for that. There's always room for repentance and forgiveness. Always room. And I pray for every child that was bothered by this, and that our system has to change. Things have to change, and people have to change, so that people are held more accountable. So this doesn't have to happen so frequently. Every day, you hear of some kind of case against children. Yeah. It has to change. It just has to change. But I just want to thank you. My heart goes out to you, be alert to everything around you, and don't be silent. Thank you. And bye-bye. I love you.
I love you. That was Miss Phyllis, you guys. Yeah. And it's weird because I normally don't even have this phone charged up, and it's charged up. Yeah, it is gonna touch us. And like I said, when his sister, Jarvis's sister, you have to take what she say to be somewhat of the truth, because she just did not have to even get up and say anything. But she was asking him in front of everybody. It was no secret. Just tell us where she at. Some people believe that burying and having a closure of, a funeral and stuff is closure. That's, you say that's worldly, some people get mad at you, but, you know, um, her soul is out there, and, people believe what they believe, Um, his sister will hear people saying, "Oh yeah, that's his sister." Then they'll say, "The one who's such and suching things." Yeah, yeah, she's gonna have a hard time. And some people be like, nah, the sister knew. The sister was a part of it. The sister, she could have prevented this. She know that wasn't her niece. Da 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 da. That, I mean, because yeah, you can look at that and say, hey, did she know? Hey, did she bring some? Did she follow her to the bathroom and make sure she was doing a test or drinking the such and such or whatever? Or did she know they were going to take her out of town or whatever? Was she a part of the equation? I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. But I don't believe she would get up there like that and be like, I don't know if you guys don't know how hard it is to be she loves her brother, but how hard it is to know that the world right now is angry with Jarvis, and she's sitting there saying, I'm angry for what he did too. I'm angry. And she can't change that. And she can remember him being a little boy, following her around, wanting to protect her and getting off into stuff. But to be doing things to kids, and then she said something that a mother would only say. And I say a mother. He hurted children that had his face, that looks like him, a part of him. So he wasn't discriminating who he wanted to touch. He's got a problem. Yeah, he's sick. You guys, he's sick. And I know you guys weigh what is sick and what is this and that. And you really can't, because when you have a sickness, a habit, a sickness, just like if you indulge in a drug or something, and it keeps calling you and calling you, and sometimes it calls you at the wrong time, and you have to fight that, and do you know what you're doing is wrong? Yep, you know. But that's the way you were getting pleasure, so therefore, you know how sometimes people say anybody can get it? Anybody can get it. I'm just saying. you know. So be careful. Miss Phyllis said, be watchful. Be careful, be watchful. And like I said, this is a learning channel that we do learn, and we are of age. So, you know, you got your kids, grandkids. Just be very, very watchful, because when it does affect one, it doesn't just affect one person. It just doesn't. Like, say for instance, and we're going to get off of here, but just say for instance, he was so comfortable with the relationship. The way he was comfortable, there's other females out there we will never know about. Trust me, you guys. I don't need no evidence. I don't need no names. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you the truth. So even though that he got charged for 6, there's probably about 12 or 13 out there. Okay? That we just ain't gonna know about. Because he didn't stop. Like they said in 2012 when he got out, immediately he went back into doing what his body was craving to do. So we are going to pray. We're going to pray. And keep our prayers, because I know you guys think that you pray and then you don't see anything. You don't have to see anything. It ain't meant for us to see it. Trust and believe prayer do work. Praying works. So pray for Tawana. Pray for Naziah. I know you may not want to pray for Anita, but please pray for Anita, Shannon, Marquita, Janiyah, everybody. Everybody. Let me tell you guys something, and I can't explain it, but I can tell you I was going through my first and only divorce, and I was so angry. I was angry because our marriage, like as far as financially, it was the best I've ever place I've been in, you know? Like, we was building an empire, and all of a sudden, boom, he was doing this, he was doing that, and I couldn't understand why. I couldn't understand why. Well, and I still don't understand. But at the end of the day, I was so angry. I was bitter and angry because I have to shut all of this down and start all over. And I don't know if there's somebody else I would trust to go that far, to get all the way up, to just stop all in one day. So I was so angry. And an older woman said to me, she said, SP, you want to get back at him? And I said, yes. Yes, I do. Because I was in a 6-digit income every month. And now I gotta stop because he's being foolish. And we're married. And he stepped out. And I'm pretty sure he wants to come back in, but I can't trust him no more. The trust is gone. he wanted. She said, you want to get back at him? This is what you do. I'm thinking she finna tell me to go over there, tear up the car, go over there, call the police, go break out some windows, get my brothers on him, meet him at the door. I just couldn't wait for her to tell me what to do. She said, pray for him. That is not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to pray for him. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm now going to be a divorced woman at the age of 40. I'm going to be divorced because of something I got no control over because he wants to do what he wants to do. Now my income comes from 6 digits down to 5 and 4 digits that quick. Now my kids going to have to stop going to the school that they're going to and go back to public school. We may not even be able to keep the house. She said, pray for him. And mean it when you pray for him. Because, in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, I pray for him, but I ain't going to really mean it. Evidently, she must have knew what I was thinking because she said, you mean it when you pray for him. Because you do love him, don't you? Yeah, I do. I do love him. I don't even want him back. I'm just mad. I'm frustrated. One girl came to me I hadn't seen since I was a child. I used to follow her around, an older woman. She was the prettiest girl in the world, I thought. Her name was Christy. And she showed up at my kids' school. I guess one of her kids or something was going to the school. And she said, you don't remember me, do you, Princess? See, that's my nickname, Princess. And I said, no, I don't. She said, I'm Christy. You my little sister. Remember I used to take you skating, give you my clothes. We play in makeup, take you shopping, take you to the movies. I said, Christy? She said, yeah, and we hugged each other. She said, oh, you're so beautiful. You grew up and you're so beautiful. She's older than me. She's about 10, 12 years older than me. And I said, and I looked at her. She's still beautiful. I always thought she's the beautiful girl I ever seen in my life. And she said, how you been doing? And I said, I've been doing great. She said, you married? And I looked at her and I said, started crying. And she just hugged me and she said, it's okay. She said, it's okay. I said, I'm going through a divorce. And she says, I'm moving to Atlanta. You want to come? I said, I can't. I got property and stuff here and my job and I can't. My mother, But she asked me to go with her. She's like, you can find a job in Atlanta. I'm moving down there and there's a lot going on down there. You want to come? You can come. You can stay with me. I'm moving down there and see, I've always had older women around me, you guys. Older women around me growing up. Older women. And then she told me, she said, you want to get back at him? I said, yes. She said, pray. Pray for him. And I prayed for him. And I prayed to God that he helps him. And he turned. And guess what? We're still married. So, I can still do that. But I also told the Lord, I don't want him back. I don't want to look at him. I don't want to see him. But I want him to get some help. And I left it like that. And I haven't seen him since. You know, I hear things. I hear the police was after him. He went to jail, and I hear he was with another woman and he's got another baby and he got remarried. I hear stuff, but physically, eye to eye, in the same room or on the same street, no. Probably going down the street or something, I probably seen him or something. He done gained a whole bunch of weight. He don't look as good as he did when he was with me. No, he does not. Looks like a roly poly. And I thought to myself, okay, that'll do it. But anyway, what I'm saying is, I pray for him. Exactly, Freddie. Don't even want to hear his voice. Actually, we don't even say his name. You know, my kids, if they see him or something, they say, hey, Mom, I seen him. They call him him. We don't even speak his name. My current husband right now be like, I don't even know your ex-husband's name. And you're not. I got nothing bad to say about that man other than it did not work. He wasn't ready for marriage. The end. You know, that's it. We're not going to go off into the details of what he didn't do, and how he did it. And you know, you don't do that. My husband say, well, what did he do? I say, I he's like, I just want to make sure I don't do it. Well, you'll know if you do it, because you'll get the same treatment. Oh, he must have cheated. He must have did this. You know, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't a cheating part. That was not it. It was not. I mean, when you weigh everything together, it just becomes too much. You know, there's gonna be a straw that breaks that camel's back that says, I'm not going no further. I can't do it. But for me, I don't believe in divorce, but I can't stay with you. And I refuse to be alone by myself for the rest of my life because you choose to do things ungodly. You choose to be out there in the drug world. You choose to be out there slinging, you know, sex around. And, you know, I'm not going to sit up in the bed and be like, no, 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 no. You know what I'm saying? My life. You're not bringing nothing home to me. And then there I'm sitting there with something I can't get rid of that's going to kill me. No, I can't do it. Not going to do it. So that's the reason why some people get married, is because it's not for money, fame. They just don't want, if they have those desires, they're with someone that they have a monogamous relationship, and they don't have to worry as much. They're going to try to do the right thing. I'm not going to say anybody's going to do the right thing. I don't know. But at least they try, you know, instead of just being out there. You know, you can be outside. That's what they call it now. I like to be outside, you know. So if somebody tells you that, that's what that means. Like they just really, hey, you know, they out there having a good time. Exactly. Freddie, you got it. The company he keeps in the unprotected. Yeah. Because you got to remember, if he's out there with gangsters, now they at the house, or they doing this, now they around my kids. I don't know who's doing what. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my friends can't come over to the house. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Now you got another Jarvis Butts at your house. You know? Oh, such and such is okay. That's my buddy. That's my friend. I can't even go to work. I thought it was going to be okay. But like I said, you know, there was a part of me that didn't trust in the first place. And that's why my kids was at my mother's house. So I was trying to get to a point where I can trust. Like I can say there might been like maybe out of 7 years, maybe 10 days that he did have to watch the kids. But trust and believe, that was very hard for me to do. So I tell people all the time, yeah, if you're married, hey, that's that's something that you have to pay close attention to, your children, you know, and your children's gonna look at you some kind of way if they come to you and say, hey, somebody touched me. You can't just keeping the child around that person. You just can't. You know what I mean? And it don't even have to be that person. It could be their buddy. It could be their friend that comes over to just watch TV and drink and watch the fight or something. Coming over in your room, touching here and there. That's what Jarvis did. He would come over to see his other kids, and now here he is in the company of Naziah. I'm just saying, you guys, you got to watch everybody that you bring around them children. Because I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to get off of here, but I'm going to be honest with you. That is the main thing now. I want to put it in the right words, and I can't, but kids. You guys hear me? The future. That is the main thing that evil is coming for now. I mean, yeah, the adults lose their minds and they gonna do what they want to do. I mean, they believe it's my life. I can do what I want to do. If I want to drink, I drink. If I want to get high, I get high. If I want to go run and lay up with such and such, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. But now they got people thinking, okay, just don't lay up with that woman. Go over there and lay up with the kid. And then now that kid, when that kid grow up and have kids or be, promiscuous, and everybody's wondering why this girl is dressing the way she dressing and acting the way she acting. Quit being judgmental. Something happened. Whether she told you or something could have happened. And that's how spirits transfer from person to person. The older women would say all the time, when a young lady becomes around of age, 13, and she finally gets introduced to intimate relations some way or another. I don't know how old she is, 13, 14, 15, whatever, 12, 11, I don't know, whatever age she is. And then you come home and you say, well, I thought I told you to clean the kitchen. Well, that ain't my kitchen. Those are your dishes. I want to go out and play. I want to go skating. And I don't know why you won't let me go skating. You don't tell me, always such. And you fighting with your child. And you're like, what the heck happened here? Yesterday, I asked you to clean the kitchen. You cleaned the kitchen. Today, something, because guess what? Guess what? That spirit, when we lay with people, that's transferring spirits. That's why the Lord did not want us to lay with no one we wasn't married to. Now that child is arguing with you, argumentative, won't do what you asked her to do, running out, Can't tell her nothing. She knows everything. Crazy. And then, like I said, we sometimes have to acknowledge that. Did we push that child to that? Or was we a little too harsh? Or was we not understanding? Or did we have to raise a child in a single home? And then somebody got to the child? Or what? Because once you do lay down, you're going to feel differently. You feel differently. You don't know why you couldn't cook dinner like you used to. You don't know why you got to wash everybody's clothes in the house. Well, you didn't have a problem with it before, but now you got a problem with it. I'm just saying, you guys, if you really look back in your intimate relations, that's when the change took place, is because of the spirit that person sent to you. All right. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here. You guys pray for me. I will pray for you. You guys keep yourself encouraged. Do the right thing and love on everybody.